Right now in Action 2 News at 4.
These walkouts, this movement is about staying safe.
We just want common sense gun laws and things that are going to prevent these type of situations from happening.
Students walk out as part of a nationwide demonstration to advocate for stricter gun laws and improved safety. What it'll look like across the U.S., including right here in Northeast Wisconsin.
And the suspected Florida school shooter appears in court a day after prosecutors announced intentions to seek the death penalty. How Cruz pleads in the case.
And right now we're enjoying some milder temperatures. In fact, readings still close to 50 degrees in some spots, but don't get too used to this. Colder conditions set to roll back in as we close out the work week. More on just how cold it will be on your Thursday coming up. This is Action 2 News at 4.
From WBAY TV, coverage you can count on. Action 2 News at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. We begin with a story unfolding at this hour on a day when students nationwide staged walkouts in protest of gun violence. Northwestern University reports a person with a gun on campus.
That college in suburban Chicago is asking people to take shelter. A spokesperson says the report of a person with a gun came from a graduate student dormitory. Evanston, Illinois police and Northwestern University police are responding. We'll bring you updates as soon as we learn them. Students across the country put down their pencils and walk out of school today, demanding action on gun control while also trying to honor the students and faculty killed in school shootings. It happened at exactly 10 o'clock this morning in every time zone.
Students and faculty filed out of school buildings, dedicating 17 minutes to the 17 people killed at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida last month. Some schools made peace signs during the demonstration, while others organized a silent lie-in or sit-in. Different variations across the nation. But at the school recently devastated by gun violence, Stoneman Douglas students simply walked out onto the football field, hugging and chanting while the school chorus played music.
They are the students who organized today's walkout, planning it on the 1-month anniversary since the shooting. On their list of demands in response to that tragedy, students are asking lawmakers to ban assault weapons, require universal background checks before gun sales, and pass a gun violence restraining order law allowing courts to take away guns from people with warning signs of violent behavior.
Going to stop fighting. We're not going to shut up. It's been a month. We're still here.
We've grown out of a community that has been affected by this tragedy, and we have grown up watching more tragedies occur and continuously asking why. Why does this keep happening?
Some lawmakers joined in on the demonstrations this morning, calling out the National Rifle Association. It responded to the protest, tweeting for everyone to work together to secure schools and stop violence. In another tweet, it posted, quote, "I'll control my own guns. Thank you."
And closer to home, many high school students throughout Northeast Wisconsin also taking part in today's walkout. At De Pere High School, students used the 17 minutes to come together in a sign of unity. Continuing our top story coverage, Aisha Morales talks to the students who say they're proud of their fellow classmates.
17 chairs. Then the footsteps. Dozens of De Pere High School students chose to walk out as a way to honor the 17 victims of the Stoneman Douglas school shooting.
We wanted it to be something that everyone could participate in. We didn't want it to be a political thing at all. We didn't want division. We wanted unity.
I saw the students march out in a very positive way, very quiet way, and I thought, what a lesson these kids are learning about our democracy of our country, that they can do this.
Using the 17 minutes to name the victims off one by one and laying a flower down on each chair.
The majority of us can't vote, but there are laws being passed that are going to affect our daily lives. And I think that these movements that are happening all across the country today and that are going to happen all across the country for the next upcoming months are so powerful to these kids. It gives them a platform and empowers them to go out into the world and actually make change.
The students say for them, today is a statement, a plea for safer schools.
It's incredible that so many kids want change and are willing to go through so much to get this change, so no one else has to go through what the victims in the Florida shooting had to go through.
As the 17th minute strikes, they hold hands, chanting their biggest hope of all. In De Pere, Aisha Morales, Action 2 News.
And the walkouts continued further south in our viewing area. Our Skyview 2 drone shows students at Appleton North walking out. Meanwhile, in North Fond du Lac, students at Horace Mann High School walked to support kids who feel left out. Nolan Blair explains how the school used the time to encourage kindness.
The central message of today's walkout in North Fond du Lac was walking up. Walk up to someone you don't know or someone that feels left out, or include somebody at your lunch table. At the end of today's rally, students took the time to learn something new about their peers. Students here believe this can eventually lead to more school safety. Reporting in North Fond du Lac, Nolan Blair, Action 2 News.
Historians say today's rallies could be the largest youth movement in history. More protests are still coming, with the March for Life set for March 24th and another nationwide walkout planned for next month. New at 4, Nicholas Cruz, the suspected gunman in the Florida shooting, pleads not guilty to all charges. The 19-year-old is charged with 34 counts of first-degree murder and attempted murder. Some relatives of the victims sat in the courtroom to watch. Also in attendance, Cruz's younger brother. Prosecutors are trying for the death penalty.
The man killed in last week's apartment building explosion in Beaver Dam will be laid to rest tomorrow. Funeral services for Benjamin Morrow are being held in Madison, but the 28-year-old will be buried in Appleton. Investigators believe Morrow died as he was making homemade bombs. However, the pastor who's conducting his funeral says he is not the bomb maker. An obituary says Morrow was baptized as a child in Appleton and his parents live in Black Creek. Fire officials plan to burn down the apartment building tomorrow to render leftover chemicals completely safe. Action 2 News will bring you that operation during newscast tomorrow.
Turning to weather now, higher temperatures today, but colder weather expected again tonight. Meteorologist David Ernst has the details in Storm Center 2. David.
Yeah, don't get too used to the mild weather that we are experiencing right now. If you compare temperatures at this hour to where we were yesterday at this same time, most of you 15, 20 degrees warmer, and that puts readings currently in the mid to upper 40s, even 50 degrees still in Waupaca, but it's already cooling off across the far north. 38 in Wausau, 40 for Iron Mountain, and it's likely that we don't even get that warm tomorrow afternoon, looking at low to mid 30s and maybe some upper 20s across the far north. Winds generally out of the west, 10 to 20 miles per hour, but notice across northern areas, Rhinelander, Iron Mountain, that wind already turning to more of a northerly direction, and it's going to continue and usher in some colder air. It's still quiet right now on Snow Tracker, but across Lake Superior and heading south, we do have some light snow activities. Some flurries are possible overnight tonight. We'll look at those temperatures dropping through the 40s into the 30s as clouds increase this evening. Again, some scattered flurries possible, and then the cold air arrives to end the week. We'll talk about just how cold it gets tomorrow coming up.
Thanks, David. The Pro Football Hall of Fame may be in Canton, Ohio, but by this summer, people in Northeast Wisconsin will only have to visit Appleton for some gridiron glory. New at 4, Emily Matesic tells us where the history of professional football will be on display.
Gridiron Glory, the best of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is the most extensive and comprehensive traveling exhibit that tells the history of professional football in the United States. And this summer, it will call the History Museum at the Castle in Appleton home.
It starts in the early 20th century, runs all the way up until the present day. So you'll see rare footballs, Super Bowl trophies, memorabilia that only the Pro Football Hall of Fame has.
Museum officials, along with Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy, were joined by tourism officials and Myron Construction to announce the exhibit's new residency. Myron, the lead sponsor of the exhibit, will work to transform about 6,000 square feet of the History Museum for the exhibit's arrival. In addition to all things pro football, it will also have a hometown tribute area that focuses on the Packers.
They'll see some great exhibits. I mean, Don Hudson's jersey and other things that the Pro Football Hall of Fame has that we may not necessarily have.
The exhibit comes to Appleton as the Packers prepare to celebrate their 100th anniversary. Its presence in Northeast Wisconsin will also coincide with football season, and it's expected to bring in almost 40,000 visitors and more than $1 million in revenue.
Now you have this great exhibit that just parlays football and the whole rich history, and of course, the more they read and learn about that history and explore it, the more they go, no one's better than the Green Bay Packers.
Gridiron Glory will open on June 30th of this year and run through January 6th of 2019. Reporting in Appleton, Emily Matesic, Action 2 News.
Still ahead, new reports of Jeff Sessions considering firing Andrew McCabe just days before his retirement.
How this move could affect McCabe's financial future.
From WBAY TV, Jeff Alexander and Sarah Thompson. This is Action 2 News at 4. Coverage you can count on.